Skoda T-56, a Tier 8 Czechoslovakian premium heavy tank, and this is the E75 RT, a Tier 8 German super heavy. Now, both of these vehicles are currently in World of Tanks PC as available Tier 8 premiums, and funny enough, I own both of these tanks in my PC garage. However, I can tell you that they are very different from PC, and what the current statistics are saying they're going to be in World of Tanks Blitz. And yes, that is right, I do have the statistics of the testing stages for both of these vehicles. It took a lot of effort to get these files with help from my moderator, so it would be greatly appreciated if you do smash that subscribe button down below. I bet you won't find any content like this on any other channel, at least right now, on these statistics. Just as a disclaimer before we break into today's video, first of all, these are not the real tanks in my garage. Obviously, that would be breaking the EULA, and I could risk my account being banned. So these are just the models of the tanks reskinned over other vehicles in my garage. The statistics are all very true though, and they are the current testing stage statistics. But breaking into these statistics as the second part of the disclaimer, obviously these vehicles are currently undergoing testing, and what that means is that the statistics of these tanks could be subject to change in the future. With that aside, let's start off with the E75 RT. Now, the E75 RT is literally just an E75 TS hull with a Lerva turret. It's pretty strong, though, when you think about it, because what's the big weakness the E75 TS has? Oh, yeah, the turret. You just load premium and pen the cheeks. Well, that's not going to be nearly as easy as you're going to see when we break into the armor of this tank. But starting off with these statistics, the gun is a 10.5 centimeter, and what that means is it deals 350 damage a shot. Now, that is very impressive if we compare that to vehicles like the Tiger II, VK45 Wotb, the Lerva, or really any other German 10.5. They don't deal 350 damage per shot. The Tiger II deals 310. So this is a big buff for vehicles like that. That's going to hurt a lot. 350 is a really nice sweet spot because you out-reload any of the 400 alphas, and as well you out-trade any other medium, and you still hit really hard against the tank destroyers. Its penetration is incredible at 236 on the standard and 297 on the premium. And I want to point out that I am running calibrated shells, so it's probably going to be around 270 if you're not running Cali, as you can see here. But, I mean, it's got really good DPM at 2200, and this might be one of the few tanks that I might not even run calibrated shells on. Being with the normal German stereotype, this is one very accurate gun with a 4-second aiming time and .317 dispersion. So unless you're an absolute crazy mad lad that likes snapping shells, this is going to be one very accurate weapon to be using, and it's really got nothing bad going for it. Even gun depression sitting at 8 degrees, sure, it's not the 10 degrees that the E75 TS has, but the turret armor is way, way better. Now, mobility-wise, it's still very slow, only going in at 12.9 on the power to weight ratio. Yeah, that's not amazing. Hull traverse rate as well is pretty slow at 31 degrees a second, but this thing does weigh in at 80 tons. If this thing rams you, you are really gonna regret it. So it makes sense that it is a very heavy tank. So with the mobility done, with the gun done, there's one thing left, and that has to do with the armor. And obviously, being in a German heavy, you want to have a lot of armor. The vehicle we will be examining the enemy's armor with is the Barask. Now, this vehicle has 199 millimeters of standard pen and around 250 millimeters of premium penetration. I wanted to do a pretty good balance. So the standard pen would be your average tier 7, tier 8 with standard ammo, and then the premium is, you know, shooting normal premium ammo. 250 pen is quite a bit. And as you can see, even with premium, look at how small those turret cheeks are. I mean, that is actually insane. This tank is going to be very hard to penetrate. Now, as a bit of a difference between the E75 TS, you can see that that lower plate is a very easy penetration, unlike the E75 TS's lower plate, which is quite a bit thicker. The sides are very similar, though, to what I'm aware, the exact same thickness. Obviously, the rear is going to be a pen, and that goes for the rear of the turret as well. But the thing that's really strong about this vehicle is the armor. I mean, if we skip ahead here, you're going to see what it looks like when this vehicle is using its 8 degrees of gun depression, which is what I would suggest the average player in this vehicle to do. Yeah, like, how are you supposed to pen this thing? Completely hull down, you can't pen it. And as you can see, when the vehicle uses 8 degrees of gun depression, it's all red, even with premium ammo. And, yeah, good luck doing anything to a vehicle like this when it is using its armor. As we could just tell, the armor on this tank is very strong, especially if you're using it in a hull-down scenario. As well, the gun is just amazing. I mean, it's accurate, it's got good penetration, decent damage per minute, and very high alpha for a German Tier 8 heavy tank. So, I want you guys to let me know what you think about this tank in the comments down below. Do you think it's currently a little bit too strong? I will definitely say that it looks like if it were to come out in these current statistics, that it would kind of dominate Tier 8 as a new super heavy. It's kind of fast, going 40 kilometers per hour. It's got the gun depression. It's literally got everything going for it. It would be an E75 TS, but with no turret weak spot, which sounds pretty crazy when I think about it personally, but obviously that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments down below. Making our way over to the Czechoslovakian heavy, the Skoda T-56, this Tier 8 heavy tank has quite a notorious reputation on World of Tanks, the bigger, older brother. It carries a 2-shell 130mm autoloader. Thankfully, it does not have that in Blitz, because that would be broken to another world of levels. It has a single-shot 130mm gun in Blitz, which, I'm going to be honest, still seems pretty busted. When we look at the highest alpha for a Tier 8 heavy in Blitz, it's the VK100 at 460. But that tank has a lot of downsides. It's slow, incredibly inaccurate, and that definitely goes for this tank as well. With .38 dispersion, this is very similar to what is a 60 TP's dispersion as well. That aiming time, oh man, 5.4 seconds. This is not going to be the vehicle snapping shells like the E75 RT. But what it does have is 450 damage with your standard ammo. That is really, really beefy, and you can easily outtrade any other Tier 8 heavy. That's quite strong. As well, the vehicle, oh yeah, the HE, 640. What? I was reading this, and I was like, okay, it's got 450 damage per shot. The HE is probably 580. No, it's 640. It is the highest 130mm HE that you'll find on a heavy. That is crazy. The WZ-111-5A, for an example, carries a 130mm at Tier 10, and that gun only has 600 HE damage. In fact, everyone does apart from the Tier 8 Chinese tank destroyer at 660. That HE alpha is gonna be busted, and personally I believe it's not going to change either, but we'll have to see. So light tanks stay very, very far away. When we look at the gun depression, it sits at 8 degrees, because this is actually a very strong hull-down tank. Damage per minute at 1900, it's okay, but one thing I will point out is with a gun this inaccurate, you are going to have to spend easily 4 to those 5 seconds aiming in your shells, and even then, you might not hit your shots. So while it says it has a decent number of DPM, unless you're hitting every shell, it's really not going to be even close to that number. Yeah, keep that in mind. When we break a look at the mobility, this tank goes 35 kilometers per hour forward and 12 in reverse. And you might think, well, that's very slow. It averages 29 kilometers per hour forward, so not bad there. But there's one thing to keep in mind. You can run gear oil on this tank, and what that means is now your reverse speed, which was very slow at 12, goes to 16 kilometers per hour. And if you're running the other gear oil, you can get it another 2 to 18 in reverse. So what was a slow tank is now a very fast tank. You know, as well, with improved gear oil, you're going 40 kilometers per hour forward with a very good power to weight ratio. When we look at, oh yeah, sandbag armor, it also goes up to 2016 hit points, being the same as now basically a German super heavy. This tank scares me. It really does give me nightmares. It seems like it's going to be a ridiculous tank, and you might think, well, okay, at least the armor on this tank might not be that strong. Well, one might hope that that is the case, but as you can see aiming in on the Skoda, yeah, that armor seems just a tad bit crazy. Even with premium ammo at 250 pen, that upper plate is completely impervious. And as you can see as well, that turret, good luck getting through that turret-spaced armor that wraps around the entire vehicle. The only weak spot that you could probably comfortably hit on flat ground would either be the big lower plate or the cupola if the lower plate is hidden. Now you'll notice the side armor, just like an Object 140, is completely angled. So even though we are aiming at this tank at almost a 45-degree angle, that is premium ammo. I have 250 pen with APCR, and I can't pen that. That is stupid. It should not even be close to bouncing shells. Wargaming needs to change that. You can see I'm swapping between ammo. You can't pen it. You have to get to this angle, and still, this upper part is red. Now, yes, I know you can pen this bottom part where the tracks are, but there will be shells, and there will be times when there are shots that hit this bar, just like in the Object 140. And that shouldn't be the case. That seems stupid strong. I don't even understand that. Now, the rear of the tank is not HEable, at least with the Barask, so it's got some decent rear armor. But, yeah, this tank, it makes the E75 TS. I mean, look at this angle here. This is premium APCR. Again, 250 pen. At this angle, I can't even pen the lower plates. Like, what? Yeah, this tank is giving me nightmares. Hopefully, Wargaming does not release the vehicle in this current statistic. I have a feeling they won't, because, yeah, I mean, you can see why I don't think they will. So, just keep your fingers crossed. But, yeah, hopefully Wargaming has some brain cells here and nerfs the tank. Oh, and by the way, this is what it looks like hull down. So, yeah, good luck penetrating that. I wish you luck. So, there you have it. These are the two Tier 8 premium heavies that are currently about to enter testing for World of Tanks Blitz. Obviously, I think that both of these tanks are very strong, but the Skoda seems just a little bit too strong. So I have a feeling that this one will be nerfed. But again, let me know if you guys agree with me or you think that this tank is balanced in the comments down below. Either way, hopefully you enjoyed today's video. As I said, this took a lot of time to put together, a lot of effort to make sure everything worked, and that I was telling you guys the correct statistics. So, if you want to see more content like this in the future on the most relevant and newest information in the game, make sure to click that subscribe button down below, as I'll always be sure to notify you when anything is up. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.